it's finally time to introduce and welcome our guest speaker for the day, Toastmaster Karkavil Raja. Can we have a virtual applause for our Toastmaster of the day? And sorry, not only for the Toastmaster of the day, for the guest speaker of the day as well. My apologies. All right, so let's get started with the introduction. So, Karkavil is a communication skills trainer by profession, and he has a master's in English and philosophy. As a Toastmaster, Karkavil has served different ExCom roles in Viruddhanagar Toastmasters Club. He's been a Toastmaster since 2019. He is the winner of District 120 Table Topics Contest 2022, winner of Humorous Speech Contest and Evaluation Contest 2023. He has been awarded Outstanding Toastmaster of the Quarter of Division H for the period of June 2023 to December 2023. He has delivered umpteen educational sessions in Toastmasters fraternity and has been honored with the Guest Speaker Citation Award in the year 2024. He is the mentor of Viruddhanagar Gravel Club and is the immediate past president of Viruddhanagar Toastmasters Club. And currently, he is the area director of H4, Division H, District 120. And without any further delay, dear members and guests, please join hands in welcoming our guest speaker of the day, Toastmaster Karkavil. Toastmaster Karkavil, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rishika. Could you do the honors of answering my two questions? Am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, Toastmasters. Very good evening. Today, we are going to explore the realm of impromptu speaking. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Toastmaster Yamunarajan for giving me this opportunity, and also all of you for joining today to listen to me for the next few minutes. Dear friends, I would like to share something that happened in my life recently. My wife and I went to a shopping mall where in the third floor we saw something called Ghost House. Below that, it was written, "It is intimidating." I told myself, more intimidating than my wife? No chance. We have to check it out. So my wife and I got the tickets, went in. As soon as we stepped in, the entire room was darkened. The lights were gloomy. Suddenly, from the wall, a hand popped out. My wife and I rushed deep into the corridor. Then soon we saw a shady figure coming behind us with an axe in hand. It was a ghost. I pushed my wife to go faster. She stopped in a particular spot where the path went into two ways. She stood there wondering, "Honey, honey, there is darkness here." I looked back. I replied, "Honey, honey, there is a ghost here." The ghost came very close with an axe in hand. As it was very close to me, it stopped. I was frozen in fear. My wife was frozen in fear. Then the ghost said, "Take the left road." My dear friends, I became the first person ever to be guided by a ghost. I followed the instructions of the ghost and took the left route. We went few meters in. Then I stumbled upon some switches. I switched on. Suddenly, a light turned on. There was a ghost standing under it. The ghost shouted, "Turn off the lights." My wife shouted, "No, turn on the lights." The ghost shouted, "Turn off the lights." My wife shouted, "Turn on the lights." I didn't know which ghost to obey. In confusion, I stood there, frozen. Then the ghost itself turned on all the lights and said, "Go!" There was a person trying to wear a mask, getting ready to scare us. He saw this scene happening in front of his eyes and then he dropped the mask. He waited for us to go. Even the ghosts gave up on scaring. We came out with our heart in our mouths. It was a wonderful experience of a lifetime. Just 50 rupees, my dear friends. We got to enjoy a breathtaking experience. When an opportunity like that comes in your way, are you grabbing it? Do you say, yes, this might be new to me, but I'm gonna give it a try? I remember the president saying his experience with his first ever table topics, waiting for the green card to come. Sir, even after the red card was shown, I was still there, sir, because I didn't see the timer. I looked only at the floor for the entire time of my table topics. When opportunity knocks your door, my dear friends, grab it. Now that is one of my table topic speeches that I presented for the topic opportunity knocks the door only once. Let us take this particular story that I mentioned and save it somewhere in our memory. Let us reopen it at times during this meeting. All right, now from the beginning. Salutations, Toastmasters. I'm here to deliver an education session on impromptu speaking. Impromptu speaking, as we know, is to speak on the spot. But let us go to the basics. What is the role of a speech? What is the purpose of a speaker on the stage? May I get your views? What do you think is the role of the speaker on the stage?
Members, please feel free to use the chat box or unmute yourself.
I will be very happy if you could unmute because I cannot see the chat box.
The
Yeah, the role of
members
a
have
speaker.
to.
Okay, sorry.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, the role of a speaker is to inspire, motivate, persuade, or inform the audience.
Motivate, persuade, inform. We got 3 valuable points. Thank you so much, ma'am. Sir, your point?
Think quickly on the feet and entertain
Ch-
the audience.
Edutain. Edutain the audience. Educate the audience as well as entertain the audience. So we got 4 points here. Motivate, educate, inform, entertain. And also one more, persuade. So we have got
Persuade.
5 points. 5 points. Any other views
Inspire.
on the role of a speaker? Inspire. I think the word motivate does that, but inspire is a better word. So we got 5 views about the role of a speaker. Okay, we have 5 now. Now, what do you think a table topic speaker should do on the contest stage? We have determined the role of a speaker. Do all these views apply to a table topic contestant?
Not
What is the
really.
most important out of the 5? What is the most important out of the 5? Persuade, educate, entertain, inform, inspire. What is the most important out of the 5 for a table topic contestant?
Inspire.
Inspire.
Inspire the audience. Excellent. How much time do I have for a table topic speech? It is 1 to 2 minutes. We get to speak till 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Yes. Within this given time, we have to inspire the audience. If you ask me, I would say inspiration takes the second seat, persuasion takes the first seat. To inspire the audience is definitely a valuable key points. But when it comes to table topics, you have 1 to 2.5 minutes. There are 9 other contestants. You have to persuade the judges towards you. You have to persuade the audience towards you. Now that comes first. Of course, you can inspire them, you can entertain them, you can entertain them, you can give them a lot of information. These become tools of persuading the audience, I would say. Now, we will establish that persuasion takes the center stage when it comes to table topics. Like you mentioned, the remaining 4 become the tools of persuasion. See, I persuade someone by inspiring them. Yes. When Virat Kohli says, I have this fitness, I'm so fit because I drink Boost. And how do they show the advertisement? They show Virat Kohli doing exercises. They show Virat Kohli running. They show Virat Kohli doing all sorts of things related to fitness. That is inspiration helping persuasion. Am I right? Do you agree with what I say? When you look at Virat Kohli's videos, you are inspired. I need to have a physique like that. Now he persuades you through his activities. So a table topic speaker has to persuade the audience to our side in 1 to 2.5 minutes. There are several gimmicks that we can do to persuade the audience, but persuasion is the most important element of table topic speech. Now let me share how I use certain techniques to persuade the audience. Let me start with the opening of your speech. In order to catch fish, what do you need?
A bait.
A bait. Very good. A bait.
A fishing rod.
Yes, a fishing rod. Excellent. So as soon as the fish gets locked in the rod or the bait, what do? You pull it back. So bait is very important. So you need something to get the attention of the audience, and we call it a hook line. How do I open my speech? You can open your speech with a hook line so that the audience gain interest in listening to you for the next 1 to 2 minutes. The time is so minimal. It is very easy for you to get the attention of the audience and have it on you for the rest of 2 minutes if your hook line is very powerful. Let me just share what I did in my district evaluation speech contest where I had a hook line up front. My target speaker's name was Ashok Kumar. His name was Ashok Kumar. As soon as I went onto the stage, my first line was Toastmaster Ashok Kumar. So that is his name. His topic was Don't Be Perfect. Don't Be Perfect was the topic he had for his speech. My first line went this way. Toastmaster Ashok Kumar, it was Ashok Kumar when your topic was announced as Don't Be Perfect. But why were you so perfect as a speaker on the stage? This is how I opened my evaluation speech. Now, this is something that made all the audience laugh. All the audience laugh when I used a word pun with his name, Ashok Kumar, as Ashok Kumar. When audience laughed, they were completely into it. They enjoyed the rest of my speech. The opening of your table topic speech should be captivating, should be something interesting for the audience to say, wow. When you give them the wow factor at the beginning, they will follow you till the rest of your speech. One more instance that I could share is another Toastmaster who was given the topic as opportunity knocks the door once. We all know the practice in Toastmasters. The topic will be announced twice along with the name of the contestant. So the contestant was called to the stage. The topic was announced twice. This contestant started his table topic speech saying, "My dear contest master, if opportunity knocks the door only once, then why did you announce the topic twice?" That's a very unique way of opening, isn't it? He has established his stance. At the same time, he has made a wow factor in the beginning of your speech. When audience heard this, they went wild. They were behind him for the rest of the speech. So hook line is very important. You can do that by taking it from the topic or the name of the name of say taking it from the topic, or you can go with some proverb. You can reverse the proverb to better effect. You can make a change. An opening is very, very important. That's where hook line comes. Have a very good hook line that can get the attention of the audience. Now, I have got the attention of the audience. Now I need to continue persuading them. How do we accomplish that? Did you all enjoy the story that I narrated?
Yes.
Yes. Was it hilarious? Was it enjoyable?
Yes.
May I get some feedback about it? Something that comes to your mind when I narrated the story.
I don't know which goes to hear upon. So that was something I was thinking.
Okay, great, great. Now, did you know what I would say by the way my story progressed? Very able to figure out how I would conclude the story or why I started the story in the first place. Did you have any idea about it?
No.
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 That is point number 2. You need a story or an incident that can get the audience behind you. That has to be unpredictable. So recommendation is that you go with your personal story rather than going with an anecdote than a story that everybody knows. You might think this is a story that none might have heard or none might have read, but there would be somebody in Toastmasters who might have heard somewhere, who might have read it somewhere. So it is advisable to go with personal incidents. Now, the story that I narrated is actually a part of my humorous speech. It's a chunk that I used in one of my humorous speeches. When the topic was announced as opportunity knocks the door only once, I thought that story would be a good fit to convince the audience that opportunity knocks the door only once, to grab onto the opportunities. So I utilized that story there. After a very strong hook line, you have to present an incident that happened in your life or someone that you know. It should be very personal. A personal incident will work well with the audience because they will not know what you would say next. They would not know why you say that. They would not know how you would conclude. Now, all these will become strengths when you take 1 or 1.5 minutes to narrate a story. They will listen closely to you. Then you can connect the story to the topic given to you. So that is number 2. Have a very good hook line. 2 is share a personal story. Share a personal incident that the audience can be fascinated with. The audience can follow. The audience cannot predict. That's very important because we have only 2.5 minutes to persuade the audience, to convince the audience what you stand for is right. I got to know from Toastmaster Imran Arjun, we have 3 kinds of topics in our district. Basically, when a proverb is given, you can either support the proverb or go against the proverb. Again, you have to convince the audience that what you stand for is correct. What will help the audience to do that? Your personal incident will help the audience to do that. my personal story, my experience with the ghosts in the ghost house, and how my opportunity, the opportunity I utilized, gave me a breathtaking experience, gave me a memorable experience, can push the audience to take up their opportunities as well. So that will substantiate your stance. So the second point is share personal stories, personal incidents that happened in your life or someone who is very close to you. Now the third point, I had a hook line, I had a good story. Now how do I conclude? You need some enforcements. You have to insist the audience. You have to make the audience remember what you stand for. I don't have to keep saying opportunity knocks the door only once, but when I conclude my speech, I definitely need to insist. Lay it strong, we say. Yes, we all love cricket. What would you call a good finish to a batting innings? 4 sixes in the last 2 hours. It's a great finish, isn't it? You need something to end with a bang. There, you can definitely go with 2 or 3 public anecdotes, public facts. Someone said facts, here is where you apply them. Information, here is where you apply them. Here is where you bring all the knowledge you have and apply. Opportunity knocks the door only once. You can take any universal incident and you can go with it. We all know Neil Armstrong is the first person to step on the moon, but the opportunity did not go to him first. When he got the opportunity, he used it immediately when his other pilot hesitated. Now, I can easily use this fact to strengthen my point in just 2 lines. We all remember Neil Armstrong as the first person to step on moon because he used the opportunity which his pilot hesitated to take. Now, in just 2 lines, I lay my stance very strongly. Go for 2 or 3 global instances like this. It can be from any field. It should be relatable to the audience. It should be known to the audience. See, there is somebody in my street. He has done something great that I alone know. If I share that, it will not be relatable with the audience. It will not resonate with the audience. So go for global examples when you quote 3 examples, 2 or 3 examples related to your topic. Whether you speak for the topic or against the topic, that doesn't matter. You need 3 global instances that can substantiate your view, that can strengthen your points. And why should I once again say it thrice? That will make the audience remember that you stood for opportunity knocks the door, even after you completed your speech. Now, finally, conclusion. Yes, 3 examples I said. If at all you still have time, that's where you inspire the audience. All these examples will be informative, at the same time inspirational. You use inspiration here, information here to connect with your audience, to elevate your stance, to once again remind the audience what you talked about. Now the final point. Something catchy to close will be always great, isn't it? My dear friends, I do not know how many of you know I am visually challenged, so I cannot see. Now, one example I can share for a global instance, global example, is something that happened in my district table topics contest. I was given the topic, patience is a bitter plant, but its fruit is sweet. Patience is a bitter plant, but its fruit is sweet. I have to talk about patience. So I completed my hook line. I had a very strong hook line. I started my speech saying, my contest master, could you repeat the topic? I did not catch it. and I gave 2 seconds before the contest master could react. Actually, the contest master was worried, scared, not knowing what to do. It was the district finals. After 2 seconds, I said, contest master, were you about to speak now? Were you about to lose your patience and react? Be patient, my dear friends. Patience is a virtue. That is how I started. So then I had a story. I gave 2 examples with Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi. Then for the 3rd example, I looked at the timer. I pointed the timer. Even here in this contest, all of us are enjoying it because of the patient efforts of all the committee members. The timer had checked the timing signals 5 times before the contest. His patience is the reason why I am speaking now on the stage in front of you. I connected it with the contest management team, which is heavily relatable. It is highly relatable with the Toastmasters fraternity. So you can definitely bring something that the audience can relate to. So that will give you a great conclusion. At the conclusion, always insist your stance and close with an inspiration. Have a good hook line, a personal story for 1 to 1.5 minutes, then 3 instances and probably global instances that the audience can get behind. It can be informative and inspirational. Conclude with your strong stance and try to add some creativity at the end. When you do all these, you will have a very powerful table topic speech. Let us also address some areas or some don'ts we have to be aware of. Usually, when the topic is announced, our mind goes blank, isn't it? My recommendation for that is take 3 to 4 seconds. In your rules, they have mentioned that they can wait for 5 seconds. Take 2 to 3 seconds, no problem. Take a breather, then start. Only after 5 seconds, if you don't talk, the timer will start the timings. So you have 5 seconds which you can utilize to the fullest. After that, do not say the topic again. Can someone tell me why? Why we should not say the topic again? Say, we have got the topic as deforestation is bad for humankind. Why should I not say this topic again? Why should I not say this topic in the beginning of my speech?
You may be talking against it.
I might be talking against it. That's a very valuable point. Any other reason? Okay, the contest master.
They might lose curiosity. Like, you need to make the audience curious is what you're going to speak about. If you just start with the topic, the people will just lose interest.
Okay. Maybe your stance will be known. I might go the other way and say deforestation is good. The curiosity might be lost. And also think from the audience perspective. You are one of the contestants. Say you are contestant number 8. All 7 contestants were given the same topic. They have got the same topic, and this contest master fellow has announced this twice for all. They have already listened to it, say 14 times by the contest master himself. You come and say the topic for the 17th time, because he will announce your topic also twice. The audience is already aware of the topic. You don't have to open with the topic. Never start your speech with the topic. Like our friends said, it will kill the curiosity. Your stance might be different. So do not open with the topic. Go for a hook line. Once again, use the topic to your advantage. Try a word pun. Go with the story directly. You will be able to get the attention of the audience better that way. Second, when you talk about it, always go with personal story. Don't go with an anecdote that happened. Like I have already covered this. Don't go with a story that you might know or all might know. They will not have the curiosity to listen to you the entire time. And finally, when you conclude, ensure that you don't change your stance.
The video is freeze.
Karkavel, if you're speaking, we are not able to
Yeah.
hear you. Your video and audio both has freezed. Karkavel? Yevna, if it's possible for you, can you please call Karkavel and inform him that we are not able
Okay.
to hear him? Thank you.
Okay, let me ring him up.
Members and guests, while Toastmaster Karkavel is rejoining, would request you to be ready with the questions since we have a 10 minutes fixed slot of session for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them up either in the chat box or you can feel free to unmute yourself post this session. Thank you.
I think he had a network issue. He must be joining in. So let's wait for 2 minutes.
Sure,
I
sure.
don't
All
want
good.
to call him also.
Perfect,
Let us
perfect.
I think Kirkwell has joined in.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Karkawil. So, Karkawil, I had paused your speech at 28 minutes and 43 seconds. So, you have roughly about 1 minute and 45 seconds for your speech. Over to you.
Okay. Could you please confirm that I'm audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
All right. Like I said, personal story is always interesting for the audience. Go with a personal story. You might have this question, how do I get a personal story on the spot? My dear friends, this word impromptu is actually a lie. It's just a mirage. It tells you that it's on the spot speaking, but none of us speak on the spot. We talk on the experience that we have accumulated over a span of time. It is always about sharing the experience we had in the past. So there is nothing on the spot in this world. We have to recollect all the experience and knowledge we have gathered and present it in a presentable fashion. Now, this is a story, like I said, I had in one of my humorous speeches. So I took it from there. You might have presented lots of speeches. You might have used lots of personal anecdotes. You might have given lots of personal sharing. You can use all of that when it comes to table topics. So that is yet another do that you can definitely go for. One personal story. Don't go for a general story. And when you conclude, do not change the stance. You start by saying opportunity knocks the door only once. Never end by saying opportunity does not knock the door only once. you will contradict your points. It is all about persuasion. Were you able to persuade the audience to what you say through your story, through your points, through your hook line, through your conclusion, through your global examples? Were you able to persuade the audience? Were you able to achieve more than the other contestants? So never go with changing the stance that would definitely contradict your content. This is all about impromptu speaking as far as my experience goes. Like I said, this is all from the journey I have had so far. I might not have given many points. I might have given the points that I use, the strategies I practice. There are many strategies out there. There are many techniques out there. I've just shared mine. You can definitely work with your own strategy. You can definitely bring your own technique. You can definitely make a difference. That's it from my end. Thank you so much. I sign off. I hand over the control to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rishika. Back to you.
You're muted, Rishika.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Karkavel. Thank you so much for your insights. And before we jump into the exciting table topic session, let's take a moment to reflect on the insightful educational session that we just had. So, audience, if you have any questions for Karkavel about impromptu speaking, techniques, or anything that he shared today, now it's the time to ask. The floor is open. Please feel free to unmute yourself or type your questions in the chat box, and I'll help Toastmaster Karkavel to help him with the answers. So while we have the audience paired up for this, Karkavel, we have one question on about impromptu speaking, which is practice versus perfect practice. How to practice for table topics?
How to practice for table topics? There are many ways. One strategy I follow is take a random object around you. You can go with talking about it in a way that um, the experience you had with that object. That's number one. The second strategy would be to take general point or general topic of the nation and address that. You can certainly talk about uh, say, yeah, the finance. We recently had the budget release. You can take you can talk about it. You can go with whatever you like. You can try speaking on that for 1 to 2 minutes. The best idea would be take one, try to bring one topic for one story for it. Try to speak for 2.5 minutes on that proverb. First speak for the proverb, then try to speak against the proverb. If you can practice this, it will be very comfortable for you when you stand on the stage. When the topic is announced, it will be familiar for your memory and mind. It will not alert all the senses. It will say, oh, this is something that you regularly do. You will not have the nervous jitters that we usually enjoy. So you can definitely practice with one proverb a day. A proverb a day keeps our fear away on the table topic stage.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We have a next question from Manisha. So Manisha would request you to unmute yourself and help us with your question, please.
Yeah. Rishika, Toastmaster Rishika, hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Okay, so Toastmaster Kirkle, thanks for such an amazing session. So my question is, table topic itself is a very short round where we just get 2.5 minutes. So what is your suggestion? Do we inculcate the audience engagement in terms of asking Q&A or just having an audience interaction within it, or it may ends up with a distraction if we don't get the desired answer or response. So what is your take on it?
I give you two answers, ma'am. One, audience engagement, if properly done, is definitely a very good tool. About how distractive it can be, yes, I know it can definitely distract the audience when you when you go with a WH question, when you try to get their views, I would not recommend audience response because audience would not expect. Once again, expecting the unexpected can give you the opening that you desire. So you can go with it, but try to make sure that it is a very easy response that the audience can give, such as raise your hands or put your hands up. Go with some kind of instruction that the audience can follow. Try to avoid verbal questions. Don't wait for
Okay.
them to say or no, you will get confusing remarks.
Okay.
I remember one of our Toastmasters, even my mentor, in his humorous speech contest, he started, it was about mathematics. He said, raise your hands if you like mathematics. Few people raised their hands. Wonderful. People who live with problems. Others, uh, he said, those who did not raise their hand, he looked at them and said, learn how to live with problems from them. And those who did not lift their hands, those who lifted their hands, he said, learn how not to live with problems from us. So he was able to connect with just one question. It was an instructive question, making them raise their hand. Even if one or two people raise, it is fine. But when you go for verbal questions, there is the problem of confusion, chaos happening. Avoid verbal questions. Go for gesture-based answers. You can have it in the opening, but it's very hypothetical. It may work, it may not work, because the audience don't expect a question from the speakers. Like I said, it is a double-edged sword. If they are not expecting, they might not react. In some cases, when they are not expecting, they might give you a good reaction as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Manisha,
Master
hope that has
Karthik.
answered your question.
Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
All right. Now I
Thank
would
you.
request Toastmaster Pranab to unmute himself and go ahead with the question, please.
Thank you, Rishika. Thank you, Toastmaster Kirkwell. First of all, a very inspiring session, and I would like to say that you're a really inspiring person, sir. So your challenges and how do you come up with it is very inspiring, and I would love to hear out your story as well in detail sometime. Coming to my question, it's very simple. Is that I would like to understand how do you time your speeches? Is there a way you keep in mind that you don't exceed the time limit? Because sometimes we kind to go with the flow and we are really excited and we lose out on control. I definitely would. You must be. It must be more challenging for you as well. But how do you time? How do you structure the time? Because you have just you get the question up and you need to time it as well, right?
Mhm.
So how do you go about it?
Okay. Um, it again goes back to the time of the story. Whatever story you take, that is the core of the speech, the personal experience, the personal incident. I would say you have time till yellow to not worry about completing the story. When they show the yellow card, I will tell myself to rush and complete the story. So by the time the red card comes up, I should have at least completed my first global example or the connection that I want to do with the topic and the story I have narrated. I should have accomplished that. So when the red card is shown, I should not have much. I should once again conclude my stance with some innovation. I allocate some time and mentally prepare for it. I even try speaking my stories for 1 to 1.5 minutes. 1 to 1.5 minutes is the time we can allocate for the story. 30 seconds is what we can allocate for the instances that I talked about, the global examples we can make the audience relate to. And finally, the conclusion. So I allocate time segment for each segment of my speech, especially the story part. That is how I do it. So thank you so much for your compliments. So hopefully that answer was good for you. It was what you were asking for.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Pranab. In the interest of time, we will be having one last question for Toastmaster Karkawel. So, Harita would request you to unmute yourself and go ahead with your question, please.
Hi, Kulbul. Thank you for the insightful session. The question is, greeting is required for table topic session, or can we go with the hook?
Greeting is required for no contest. We don't have to greet anybody there. See, the judges are invisible. If they are invisible, why should we greet them first? We don't have to greet the judges or the audience in any form of contest in Toastmasters. Ballot does not give us a single point or mark for greeting them. It takes only time. You can directly skip it. You can avoid it, in fact. If at all, ma'am, if at all, you don't know how to start, your brain needs a little bit of time. Go for reading. That can be the backup when it comes to table topics. Instead of starting with a topic again, you can use the greeting, but that is a backup. When your brain needs a little bit of time to think and come up with your opening line. I hope that answers the question. It is not required.
Amazing. Thank you, Harita. And Ranjini, if time permits, can we have that in the last, please? Because we are running a little short of time and we need to proceed
Okay,
with
no,
our
I have a follow-up question on that, what
Okay,
Harshit
over
asked.
to you.
Because I met a person from Saudi, and those people are very, very particular about greeting. And so that person, when one of the contests when I did not greet, he particularly came and told me that, you should have done it. So how do we do it, like Indian audience, global audience? So
That's an interesting question. I haven't participated in Saudi meetings before. It might be a custom of their culture, ma'am. There are cultural differences. In fact, when we
okay,
go to the global stage, of course, it is going to be very different. Everybody has their own style of greeting. Americans greet differently. Uh, Even we Indians greet differently. There is a cultural difference that we have to understand. Where you contest is what you need to see. If you contest in Mumbai, I don't think that is required. And in any of the contests, it is not required. The judges are not briefed anywhere in this world, I believe, because I have attended judges training program as well. They are not briefed to reduce the marks for lack of gradings. There is nothing like that in your ballot sheet. They don't say you have to reduce. They have to. The contestant must greet is not a mandate in judges training program as well. So as far as I am concerned, or the judges training program is concerned, we don't need to greet. Maybe
okay.
for their cultural clash, you can give them a greeting, but it will not carry you any mark or it will not give you any advantage over the others.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the question.
All right. Thank you, Kirkwale, for answering our questions. Now it's time to put these learnings into practice.